This year, we are not just reflecting on our goals and initiatives, but setting the stage for transformation, driven by deep commitment to our mission, vision, and values. Discover how Team Mesa, in collaboration with our community, is continuously evolving to meet the needs of our residents and businesses, ensuring that every step we take is for a better Mesa County.
Property tax is a big thing in the state of Colorado. The average property value went up about 40% here in Mesa County. And so Prop HH was put on the ballot last year to try to solve that problem. Unfortunately, they were just going to raid Tabor refunds to pay for it and backfill the taxpayer relief. And that failed. There was a bill that was passed that created a little bit of relief, but also created a property tax commission that would try to tackle this issue. There was several appointed by the legislature and then a few appointees from the governor. And I was fortunate enough to be selected by the governor to sit on that tax force. And I don't take it lightly. And I want to make sure that we're protecting our taxpayers. My specific role is one of 19 members who make recommendations. We discuss recommendations, and I've really keyed in on how we can help save people here in Mesa County money. Basic premise was there should be a cap of some sort so that property taxes can't increase exponentially. And there should also be a current reduction in what we pay currently. There's two sides to the same coin. When you reduce taxes, you reduce a taxing district's revenue to provide fire trucks or teach kids in school and things like that. So there's a direct nexus to lowering taxes. However, we want to strike that balance, and we believe government should live within its means and its limits, whatever that is. If you don't like seeing your tax bill go up by 40%, this is a good thing, and hopefully the legislature does something about it. When property tax values went through the roof, that's not the assessor's fault. That's the market's fault. That's controls beyond ours. And so we can't control the value of property. When people call me and say, I can't afford this, a lot of people are living on a shoestring budget. They live from week to week on paychecks, and an additional $400 or $500 a year in property tax is just undoable. So it meant a lot to me to make sure that people are protected. They're already paying more for their grocery bills, for the utilities, you name it. They shouldn't be paying that much more in property tax. When property values go up, residents, it hits them hard, but exponentially it hits businesses hard. And you might say, well, I'm not a business owner, but you pay for it in the price of groceries, in the price of getting your vehicle fixed, or whatever service you go throughout the community. They're paying high property taxes. So we're also working on reducing their burden as well, because that reduces your burden as well.
Behavioral health has changed quite a bit over the last couple of years, and in the last year in particular is really when we started our two major programs, the MAC teams, the intensive case management, as well as co-response. We're now fully staffed. It's become an independent department within the county, and this is because it's a very high need, a high issue, and it didn't really fit in any other department. It really needed to be a standalone entity to do the great work that it's doing. Mesa County Behavioral Health really does take a holistic approach, and this really is a community-wide effort. Our Behavioral Health Steering Committee includes all the stakeholders in Mesa County who are involved in this work, and we look at all aspects of what people need. At the table, we have law enforcement, a plethora of nonprofits who do this type of work. The healthcare industry is involved, both our hospitals, local doctors, our health department. It really is a holistic approach and a community effort. And in fact, much of the money that we've received in these grants, we are sharing with other entities in our community to actually do the work. Our Behavioral Health Steering Committee that meets monthly on the second Thursday of every month at 12 o'clock is open to anyone. You don't have to be in the mental health field to attend. We have citizens who have been impacted by mental health issues in their own families, and they're welcome to attend too. And on our website, we have a link to information about the different strategies the steering committee is working on and how they can get involved.
AgriWest really got started as a very grassroots development. I wanted to bring people together that were concerned about agriculture, but I also was seeing a lot of innovation throughout our community, and bringing people to the table was really important to me. So by putting together this initiative, we really wanted to support our economy. We wanted to support our farmers, but we also wanted a vehicle to support jobs and innovation in a really neat way that could be meaningful to residents. And in this vein, we also were seeing what kind of ideas can translate into policy. And we wanted to get that straight from the source. And I think we've been really successful in bringing in the people through our Agro Council. The county side of things, we have the policy background and support to lend to this effort. We can build something that is really sustainable and scalable. We have big vision, big hopes for this, and we think this is going to be a really meaningful effort for our county. And we're really excited to see it take shape. And I think that when we can lean into who we are in Mesa County, when we can lean into what benefits us and what brings people together, then that's where we see really exceptional fruit grow, and we can provide for our families, and we can also provide for our future generations. And I think that's very meaningful work to be doing, and I'm really proud of the relationships that we have built here in Mesa County. We've been really successful with implementing a brand new solar code, and that just didn't happen overnight. That happened with a lot of engagement from our residents, and I think one of the more significant parts about that solar is that it really respects our agriculture heritage. And bringing in agrivoltaics is very huge. This is a new technology, and I think it's going to be a real big asset for our farmers to be able to use solar to produce energy for their farms and also have a higher yield. And I think that's a win-win for our community.
So as we begin to assess our behavioral health needs in Mesa County, one of the ones that rose to the top was caring for individuals who were high utilizers of our criminal justice system and our emergency rooms in our hospitals. And so we started an intensive case management program, which is often referred to as MAC, multi-agency collaboration, to provide case managers to work with these folks really closely, individually, one-on-one, seeing them daily if that's what they need. We didn't want to create a new government program, so we raised the money through grants, and we put this out to bid to the private sector. We initially contracted with 3 agencies, and now we're up to 4. And again, all of this is at no cost to Mesa County taxpayers so far. And we're serving over 250 individuals. We've reduced the population in our jail in the last year by 20%. So we really believe it's having a good impact on people. So we have our MAC teams that do intensive case management to high utilizers of our systems. What we're hearing now is there are a lot of younger children in the school system that are acting out, assaulting their teachers, throwing chairs at other students that really need some behavioral health help, and their families do some case management and support. And on the other end of the spectrum, as co-response has been going out, they found lots of senior citizens who also need this help. A couple who'd been married 65 years, there's no domestic violence in their past, but he now has dementia, he gets confused, he gets angry, he hits his wife, and then law enforcement is called out. Well, taking that man to jail is not going to help anyone. He needs mental health services and different types of supports. And so now with the MAC team, we're seeing we need a MAC junior team for the kids and a MAC senior team for our elderly folks. And that's where we're headed for the next year. And again, it's not going to create a new government program. We're again going to secure the funds and then put it out to the private sectors and nonprofit folks to actually do that work.
When you think about the Grand Valley, you can't not think about water and what the river means to us. Mother Nature is really difficult to count on. And so anytime that we can give stability to our ranchers and our food producers, that's a win-win. So when the county was able to donate $1 million to the preservation of the Shoshone water rights, I'm honored to stand along our Western Slope community to be the generation that stood up for the Shoshone and secured a better tomorrow, a decision for hope that our best days along the Colorado River are still ahead of us. Thank you very much. That was just a huge initiative, and I think a historic event that's never really taken place here in Colorado. We want to make sure that we're preserving that and strengthening that for our future generations. Whatever the problems or challenges might be, listening and having community engagement, and I know together we can get through anything and we can solve any problems that come our way. And that really is hopefulness, and I think we all need a little bit more of that in our lives. And I think Mesa County is on the right track, and we're doing a great job with community engagement.
We are in the thick of environmental studies, designs, working with our community on the 29 road interchange into I-70. This has been a long time coming. In the early 80s, it was put on a list of infrastructure projects to be done with a new sales tax, and it's been talked about for over 40 years. And that one component that we are working on that's probably the toughest of all is funding. We also want to go for a lot of federal granting that will allow us to subsidize that project, because it's a federal highway, it's a state highway, and we want them to help with us because it's not only a local traffic problem, it's also an interstate highway problem as well. So we're going to be asking for infrastructure dollars from it as well. That way the local taxpayer doesn't have to bear the entire burden, because it acts as a thoroughfare across the state of Colorado.
A lot of times what happens when people have untreated mental health issues, things can escalate to a point that law enforcement is called out. And really taking someone in that situation to jail is not appropriate. So by the co-response team, where we have a therapist go out with the deputy, they're able to help de-escalate the situation, find out what the person really needs, and they're able to go back the next day or the day after that to follow up and make sure they're getting the help they need. This has had a huge impact in the sheriff's office not having to take people to jail who don't need jail, they just need mental health help. We've been able to fund these services without using county tax dollars because of many of our local community partners. For example, St. Mary's has invested heavily into this, especially the intensive case management, and we've gotten some significant grants from the state, well over $5 million, and just applied for 3 more grants totaling nearly $2 million. I know people are frustrated with some of the illegal homeless encampments they see, and really much of that is driven, again, by a lack of mental health services. Not always, but often. And so our approach has been to include our co-response team, the therapists, and even our MAC teams to go out with the sheriff's office and code enforcement and animal control to really meet these people one-on-one and find out what is it that they need. In the last cleanup that we did, 100% of the people they talked to accepted some sort of help or service or connection. We really believe this is more prevention instead of just kicking the can down the road and moving them out of one homeless encampment only to create another one.
I love my job and I love what I get to do. And part of that is just really listening. We're looking forward to a better future for our residents. And I think that's been one of the best things about being a county commissioner.
I'm excited about the future of Mesa County. We have a lot of infrastructure projects which will make living in Mesa County easier and better. It will create more economic development. The 29 Road Bridge is going to create a whole new area for economic development, growth in commercial and industrial. That's a good thing. I'm excited for the possibility of greater access to broadband, which has been happening here in our community. People are happy about. People are seeing those lines go in the ground, and they're being able to get that service. I'm excited about the future of outdoor recreation in our community. It's a small portion of our economy right now, but it's growing and it's helping diversify, and it's making Mesa County an even better place to live.
We're excited that we're seeing a lot of positive impact from the work we're doing in the mental health area. And as we move forward, we continue to find other areas that we can work on. And I'm really positive about the future of Mesa County.
As we conclude this year's State of the County, we look ahead with a clear focus and a firm commitment to our community. Thank you for your continued trust and engagement. Your active participation is not just appreciated, it's essential as we shape our county's future together, ensuring that Mesa County remains a great place to live, work, and play.